Welcome back to the Sports Mall Sofa. We're going to talk about some of the biggest transfer stories at the moment. Let's start with Luis Suarez. Looks like he's going to be going to Barcelona.
Looking increasingly likely, isn't it? I mean, I think we're in the driving seat in terms of negotiations because he signed a new contract quite recently. We won't let him go for any less than our valuation of him, which I'd say is around 80 million, maybe even more than that. I mean, Barcelona they won't pay that in cash, I don't think, all in money. I think Sanchez, as part of the deal, will be key to making the deal happen, which is good for Liverpool, because if we are going to lose Suarez, we need a replacement for him. And while Sanchez, I don't think he's as good a player as Suarez is. I don't think anyone other than Messi and Ronaldo are. He is probably in the rung below, and he's had such a good World Cup. I think he'll do really well in the Premier League, and I think as replacements go, he's not a bad one.
Do you think Suarez is a good move for Barcelona?
Yeah, it's a great move. I mean, love him or hate him, you can't question him on a football pitch, can you? What he's done from the past is wrong. Obviously, he recently apologised. Not sure how genuine that is. It's quite convenient that it's happened when the Barcelona noises have come out, isn't it? Even Rakitic signed from Sevilla. At his press conference the other day, he spoke about Suarez, whether he's been informed to do that, to try and sweeten the deal a bit. But I mean, I'd be astounded if it didn't go through now. Let's say I don't think it will be money. It'll probably be Sanchez. But I think Liverpool need to be really careful. While the likes of Shaqiri and Origi are good players, they're not Luis Suarez, are they? And I think they need to be really careful whether they do get money, what they do with it.
I mean, do you think they definitely need someone to come back the other way? They have to replace him.
Yeah, because you can't lose a player of Suarez's quality and not feel it. I mean, 31 league goals last season. That's going to be really hard to replace. Whoever we bring in, they probably won't match that contribution. We've got to accept that. But Shaqiri, he's got a lot of promise about him if we can get him. Origi, rumour has he'll be going back on loan first season he's at Liverpool, but he's got potential to be a really good player. Sturridge will weigh in with goals. Sterling we expect to improve even further. It's going to be, we'll still have a good attacking squad, but I think obviously Suarez was the jewel in our crown last season. To lose him will be a big blow. If we can, Sanchez I think is vital to replacing him. I don't see anyone that we could reasonably get who could replace Suarez better than Sanchez. I think he'll do a better job than anyone.
I mean, another big story that was this week was Diego Costa. He's finalised his agreement with Chelsea. Is that a good sign of Chelsea? I mean, they paid a lot for him, but he had one good season. Before that, he hadn't done amazingly.
Obviously, he took on the mantle, didn't he? Radamel Falcao went to Monaco. He was the main man. Diego Costa was the main man last season, scored lots of goals, was brilliant. I think people have got a bit confused with the Spain. He hasn't done well in the World Cup, did he? Whether he'd be a great signing, but the way playing Spain doesn't suit Diego Costa. Spain move in waves, don't they? They compact the pitch, they play intricate football. That's not Diego Costa's game. Diego Costa is he's a runner, he's a powerful player. He likes heading the ball, he likes taking it and battling people, and that's perfect for the Premier League, isn't it? It's what they need. He'll have space and he'll score lots of goals next season for Chelsea. No question about that.
I think he's a great signing for them. Chelsea's main problem last season was breaking teams down. If Hazard wasn't on form, they struggled to really break teams down. But Diego Costa, he's got the power to just burst through defences. He's got the aerial threat as well. I think he's the perfect signing for them.
I mean, do you think Torres will still stay at Chelsea?
I think he will do, yeah, because Eto's gone, hasn't he? And I think Torres, he's obviously been a bit of a flop for them so far, but he's an all right player to have come off the bench. He won't expect to be first choice after Diego Costa's come now, but I think they will keep him. I don't think they'll recoup that much money on him, even if they did try to sell him.
I mean, so do you both think that Diego Costa's not going to be one of these Chelsea flops
No.
again?
Diego Costa will score lots of goals for Chelsea next season, no question about that. And obviously he will be the main man. Suarez will probably stay with Lukaku. Mourinho doesn't like him, does he? I don't think there's any. He doesn't fancy him, and obviously Everton are going to be in the market to replace him, aren't they?
I mean, Everton, they need a striker. I mean, I think they should just go hell for leather for Wilfred Bonney. I mean, he didn't start brilliantly in England, but he grew into his role at Swansea and then was really good at the World Cup. And I think he'd be a perfect player for Everton to have. And I think they should just throw everything at him this summer. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a step up from Lukaku. I mean, I think Lukaku personally will grow into be a better player than him. But right now, Bonney's a better player. I wasn't too convinced with him at the start of last season with Swansea, but he definitely grew into the season, and he's just such a handful for defences. The way Everton play, the way they played with Lukaku last season, Bonney will allow them to continue playing like that, and I think it'd be a great signing for them.
I mean, let's talk about Spurs. There's been not too much going on since Pochettino was appointed. I mean, which position would you say they need to address most?
I think they need a striker. I mean, Soldado, I'm a big fan of Soldado. It just didn't work for him. He's not a bad player by any stretch of imagination. He's a very good player, but it just didn't work. And whether they try and get him back to Spain and Adebayo, whether they try and get someone in who's going to guarantee him 20 goals a season, I think they need the defence. Michael Dawson's been speaking of him going as well, isn't there?
I think a centre-back's got to be one of their priorities. Sure, I mean, I don't know if Pochettino will go, but I mean, Lovren has been linked with, I think, Liverpool.
Yeah.
But That would be a good move for Spurs,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? I mean, if he could go and link up with his old manager.
Because I mean, at times, didn't they had to play Sandro and Capoue, didn't they, back there when Capoue got sent off against Chelsea, and Michael Dawson, if he goes, I think they're in big trouble. But Spurs, they made the mistakes last summer, didn't they, with Bale? They signed too many players. Lamella. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Lamella next season.
I think last season's signings will be as important as this season's signing for them. If they can, Lamella, he's a very good player. He's one of the most one-footed players I've ever seen. But if he can start to fulfil a bit of his promise, then that will help them along.
Maybe a lot of these players who signed last summer who weren't as good as they expected, like Paulinho, Lamella, maybe Pochettino can bring the best out of them.
And they're growing as a team. I mean, it was such a outlay of players and new players coming in for Spurs last summer that they wouldn't have been. They need time to gel as a team. One season together might help them do that.
Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks for watching.